Well, they say it's your birthday. It's my birthday too, yeah. Not really, but hey, we're having fun. I hope you have a good time though. Just got to send a shout out and a happy birthday to the Beatles, the Original Studio Recordings or the stereo box set, and the Beatles In Mono box set, and also the Beatles Rock Band. All released on this day back in 2009, 999 of 09, or 090909 of, yeah, 09, one after 909, something like that. Yeah, so today is its 13th birthday. I'm in 2022, so it's teenager this year. So it was a very pivotal point for the Beatles' physical media and their recordings being consolidated and remastered for, you know, the first time, really kind of the legacy and everything since, and what it's all led to. So we're going to talk a little bit about those sets today. I will also throw in a little bit of a what if. Also do got to say to my tens of subscribers, thanks for subscribing, thanks for continuing to watch these videos, thanks for liking and commenting, and please do, if you do like the video, please like and comment on it, and please subscribe. Let's make those tens of viewers into hundreds. But anyways, let's get on with this video. So yeah, happy birthday to you. As I've stated before, is in my very first video, this is something that is one of my most treasured items, definitely in my Beatles collection, one of my most treasured items. I know the mixes in the later years here now have been getting a little bit of a mixed review. We're talking about the Beatles, the studio recordings, the stereo box. This is, I think, not only pivotal for the Beatles in the recent years, but pivotal for me. My love for physical media, really, this is what really solidified it. Pull off the slipcase here, and we'll show you a little of the box. I'm going to talk a little of its history and just kind of show it off a little here. But yeah, right now we got the slipcase off. So there's the front, the side, the other side, and the top and the bottom both are just black. Of course, it's got this wonderful little magnetic clasp, and of course, you open it up to the true treasure, the album's sitting in there. Hopefully they're not falling out. Of course, the beautiful little ribbons and everything. Of course, these came out and they were in a new digi-sleeve packaging. Yes, it's a digi-sleeve, not a digi-pack. A digi-pack has got plastic, little tray that it sits into with the cardboard. A digi-sleeve is where the disc, the media, goes into a sleeve, literally. But anyways, so yeah, they came out in that digi-sleeve packaging. All the discs in this particular set featured a QuickTime mini dock that you'd play on your computer. I suppose nowadays that's totally unheard of, but featured all 12 of the UK albums plus the Magical Mystery Tour, ushered in back in '87 as part of the core catalog. It also features the past masters again, came out in '88 with the original CDs. This time, instead of volume 1 and volume 2, they just did a disc 1, disc 2 in one package. Along with that, only in the box, you got the mini docs DVD included too. Of course, these were remastered by EMI engineers Alan Rouse and Guy Massey. Of course, some legacy on it. It did go on to win the Grammy for the Best Historical Album. Later, it was also released just a few months later, as a matter of fact, in USB form on the little Apple, picture of it up in the corner here. Unfortunately, I don't have one of these. I remember seeing it one day, thought, okay, that's kind of cool, but I don't know if I want to spend the money on it. Also, on November 12th of 2012, they did release the stereo set on vinyl, unfortunately using the digital mastering, and that of course has got some pretty mixed reviews on that. But yeah, we started to show the box there a little. Let's go kind of into what is in the box here. Of course, you do got the, I think you can see it from here, the ribbon to pull them out. Yeah, so that's kind of a cool little feature, using that ribbon to pull them out. Pretty common though in most of these box sets like this. But anyways, of course, you did get Please Please Me with the Beatles, A Hard Day's Night, Beatles for Sale, Help, Rubber Soul, Revolver, and Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And that's just on the first part of the box. So of course the second part we get Magical Mystery Tour, the Beatles, and you can see the emboss there, Yellow Submarine, Abbey Road, and Let It Be. And of course, like I mentioned, the past masters now on the 2-disc, and the DVD of the mini documentaries, one from each of the albums, minus past masters. Past masters didn't have a mini doc. Also, to promote this before it came out, and I got this hidden in my box there, I got the 090909 sampler. this was just a cool little promo. The gatefold with just information on the set coming out. Track list there. And then one cool thing, they did the disc 1 on the Parlophone, which the majority of those had, and then disc 2 on the Apple label. Now, as you've seen, as I was pulling these out, you could probably tell I got them in a little plastic sleeve. One thing I did hear on some reviews in recent years on this is that people have noticed from sitting in the box there, the colors bleeding through from the back of the one disc onto the cover of the next. So one thing I got thinking of, well, yeah, let's take care of these discs. I mean, with our vinyl, we put them into plastic sleeves and everything. Obviously take the disc out of the inner sleeve and put them into a better sleeve. So yeah, why not with our CDs do the same? And I thought this would protect it. Now, I didn't notice that any of mine were doing that, but just to show you, of course, just a nice little sleeve there. And then to go just a little step further, I'll show you on Sgt. Pepper's kind of how they looked. Of course, this one's got the gatefold recreated there, and then you got your booklet in the pocket here. Oh, and then that's right, my disc is in in the car to be listened to. But yeah, I just got one of these rice paper type sleeves like you got with the mono box or the US albums box or the Japan box, the mini LP style, and I just put the disc into that just to help protect it a little, and that'll prevent that from color seepage or that. So just a little tip there for you if you got this set and are worried about that. So yeah, there was the stereo box set. I did mention I had a little bit of a story on the stereo set. So I did pre-order this from Best Buy when it was first announced, and I anxiously went down to the store on September 9th of 2009, only to find mine did not arrive. Pre-orders back then were a little different than now. I suppose we did have Amazon. It would have shipped right to my door if I would have done it through that, but I wasn't shopping on Amazon at that time. Anyways, I go in there, they tell me, yeah, it didn't come in. So I'd go in there weekly for whatever, never got an updated email. They told me I'd get an email saying it was in. Never got an updated email. It had been about 2 weeks later, I think I was in there for something else. I'm just browsing around, and sitting in the box set section sits a copy of, you know, the in stereo set. I'm looking at it going, why is this on the shelf when they've got a pre-order going to the store for myself, and here's one sitting on the shelf? So I grabbed it off the shelf. So I go up to the customer service counter, and I brought up my email confirmation. I brought up the copy of it that I found there, and I said, hey, why wasn't I notified you had one of these? Why is it sit on the shelf for somebody else when you've got one that's supposed to be coming to me? At first they were a little hesitant on giving it to me, saying, well, that's not your copy, that's our copy to be sold. And I'm like, well, I'm here to buy it, I've bought it, so, you know, why don't you get me this copy? Through a little bit of negotiation, whatever, and then figuring it out with the manager and that, I got to take that copy home that day. So I do think it was about 3 weeks later. I can't remember the exact. A little bit of story there on it. I wish I would have got it right away. Wish I would have realized about Amazon back then and just went through them, and not got the runaround. But like I said, I was always shopping there. Like I said too, I remember seeing the USB set at Best Buy, you know, a while later. I even remember seeing the In Mono set at Best Buy at some point. And for this being so hard to find, I don't remember seeing it initially. I mean, even if the stereo set was that hard to find initially, and this was super hard to find. I ended up getting this used several years later, realizing my mistake on passing by on that, especially once I saw how the packaging was with that mini LP style. Time I didn't have any mini LP. This was kind of my first introduction to it, and I've been in love with it ever since. As my series going on about the compilations getting reissued on the mini LP, and the little mini LP box sets has been going. Anyways, it just slides out like that. At the back of it here, that would have came on the packaging, and the hearing is believing, as Magical Mystery Mike always talks about, the little promo for it. Of course, it came with the book. And then this one didn't have all the albums because they weren't all done on mono. But we did get Please Please Me, of course, with those wonderful flip backs like the original UK albums had. And they did the attention to detail, like I'm going to talk about on these in that other series. So great, you know, mimicking right down to those flip backs, and the insides with the inner sleeve and everything, and the label on the disc. But yeah, there was with the Beatles, there's Hard Day's Night, Beatles for Sale. As a matter of fact, this one I'll open up and show you. Disc I might have in my car right now too. So, but of course this one was their first gatefold, and they did of course recreate that. And then the disc pulls out from here. You got the inner sleeve, and yeah, my disc is in the car right now. I thought it felt a little light. I've been listening to all the Beatles albums in order, with the 87, the mono 09, the stereo 09, and the US albums. Like if I got the Capitol version of it off of the Capitol albums boxes, I've got that one in. If there wasn't a Capitol Albums box, please make Capitol Albums Volume 3. Then I just use the US Albums version, which really isn't much of a different sound, but at least just hearing the track listing, I've been listening to it in release order, which has been kind of fun. But anyways, there's Beatles for Sale, then Help, Rubber Soul, Revolver, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, Magical Mystery Tour, The Beatles, the White Album, and then of course Mono Masters. Yeah, these obviously done digitally also by Alan Rouse and Guy Massey, much like the stereo box. Yeah, kind of its legacy on September 8th of 2014. Of course, did get the vinyl set, which did not use the digital masters. I think they went back to the original analog tapes. Now that set is quite widely praised, and oh, how I wish I had a copy of it. Someday, when I got a couple $1,000s and I find a nice box of it, I will probably pick it up. But for now, I'll wait for hopefully the next release that maybe it'll come out of the reissue again. I absolutely love having both these together. I love that they did something totally different on each one. And one thing I do want to say, I wish that they would have at least maybe sold individually, because there's room in this box for them. Had Yellow Submarine, Abbey Road, and Let It Be in the mini LP style. And yes, I know you can get the Japanese releases that were done on that, but those are really expensive. They're really hard to get here in the US. You know, it would have been cool if, you know, $15 US dollars, you could have went and got a copy of that to add into your box. Or if they would have just included it, maybe figured out a different way to word it, not so much just in mono, but at least include those last few albums just to kind of have that cohesiveness of all of them on the mini LP style sleeve there. Of course, also on 9/9 of 09, we did get the Beatles Rock Band, and I'm going to go into a little what if on this too. So, of course, released on all the major gaming platforms at the time, which would be PlayStation 3, Nintendo Wii, and Xbox 360. You could just get the game, and there was also some bundles that you could get, like Paul's Hofner fiddle bass and the Ringo's drum kit and that. Unfortunately, I could barely squeeze out to get the money at that time to get the main stereo set. Years later, I got the in mono set. I was kind of a gamer at the time, but I never got into the Rock Band games, so I just never picked this up. I kind of regret a little that I didn't, and I mean, I'm sure I could still go down to the GameStop or something and find a nice used copy of it, but then I'd have to get all the controllers and everything. And yeah, I just don't see it coming in. I really don't play video games anymore at all. I've still got my PlayStation 3. I haven't upgraded since the PS3, so yeah, maybe one day I'll just get it just to have the package to collect. I don't know. I think it was kind of a fun set. I always kind of wanted to get into it, but just never did. Of course, Giles Martin and Paul Hicks, who have now been remixing all the anniversary sets. This is kind of, I think, their first project together where they remixed the tracks for the game. That's where the what if is going to come in here. Of course, there was 45 songs in the game, and there was the downloadable songs too. The downloadable, you could get the full Abbey Road, Sgt. Pepper's, and Rubber Soul albums, but you do get that studio chatter and all that stuff, which was really fun with the Love remix. I think it would be a fun little remix to have, so it would be a cool little box set if they put out Beatles Rock Band soundtrack featuring those songs that were remixed. I know people have figured out how to pull it off of the game there and do a little unofficial bootleg type mix of it, so it's not that it's not out there for people to find, but I tend not to like finding that type of stuff. I like to get the actual official stuff. I love that physical media. I love nice packaging. I love all that. And of course the Beatles do some pretty wonderful packaging. So it would be cool to just see that done in an official capacity release, maybe for the 20th anniversary in 2029. So anyways, I'm going to just kind of wrap it up there. Not much more to say on that. Just wanted to kind of give a little happy birthday to the in stereo, the in mono, and the Rock Band set. Like I said, it was a very pivotal moment for the Beatles and for myself, because it was at this point that I was always a Beatles fan, but this just solidified it and just accelerated it that much more. Yeah, I just wanted to give a little happy 13th birthday to these sets here. So of course, if you did like this video, please like and subscribe. Please comment too. I do like having a discussion. Anyways, I'm Beatle Dustino, signing out.